So our first speaker is Barbey from Innovaud, head of this institution, and he is working there already 5 years, supporting startup activity in Canton Vaud. And Patrick, if you check his LinkedIn, you can find also LinkedIn on Meetup site to his profile. He has a really impressive list of companies and institutions where he was working. And usually what I found as a common denominator of all of his institutions was he likes the complex systems where management and software development is a key to success. And one of the things which I found really interesting, he worked on Texas Instruments, a company which developed a first ever prototype of a working CPU unit, or in services which are providing water, electricity, and water treatment in Geneva. And I think it's really, really important. So, welcome.
Good evening. I hope you hear me well. My name is Patrick Barbey. I'm really happy to see you. I'm very impressed by so much competence in machine learning and so many people coming here with the good weather outside. I'm responsible for Innovaud, which is the innovation support agency for the Canton Vaud here in Switzerland. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about supporting startups in this region and why it's a good place to start something. It will be a little bit less than 10 minutes, so no worries, we'll come to the good stuff after that. Unfortunately, the clicker, well, some people prefer Macintosh, so I think I need Pawel because there is some issue here. Yeah. Perfect.
You can use it.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So, why is it a good place to start a company in Canton Vaud in Switzerland? Well, last year there was an investment of about 300 million Swiss francs in innovative startups in Canton Vaud. Almost 1 billion in Switzerland, but the most of the regions was Canton Vaud with 300 million. Also, the number of innovative companies that get created in this area. Currently about 40 companies per year, almost one per week. Depends how you define innovative company. We tend to focus on really deep tech companies. If you extend that to tech-enabled digital companies, you probably double or triple that number. And it's also visible in some rankings. One of the best-known rankings is the top 100 Swiss startups that comes out every year. And last time in September, well, in the 100 there were 26 startups from Vaud, but from the top 10, 6 out of 10 are from Vaud. And among the 10 you see Gamaya, which we'll talk later tonight. So why does it happen here in Canton Vaud? Well, first certainly is the academic network. You have EPFL, but you have also a number of other institutions, HRGVD, and also I included CERN, even though it's not on the canton, and EDIAP in Martigny because of machine learning in both cases. So these academies also contribute to generating innovation and generating projects. Also Canton Vaud, just 30 seconds on Canton Vaud, it's a very diversity-friendly location. In Switzerland, it's the canton with the most diverse population. A third of the population is non-Swiss. And it's also reflected, if you look at the founders of high-tech startups, it's well over half that are founded by non-Swiss people. Also, we have 6 innovation parks. Most of you know probably EPFL Innovation Park, but there are also others, Biopole, Y Park, and also Atelier de Renan, Sainte-Croix, and Orbe, dedicated to different themes. We have some quite successes, some large successes that are still here or that were here at some point. Of course, you know Logitech, it's a bit an old success, but with some renewal right now happening. Nespresso is well known. FaceShift actually was based in Zurich, but took its roots here, and Scala is maybe less known from the public, but really started here at EPFL. And we have one unicorn, a company that's valued at 1 billion and more dollars or Swiss francs. That's MindMaze, not too far from here. Well, actually, we have a second one, ADC Therapeutics, but it's not in ICT, so that's why I didn't include it here. And what are the tools that are available for companies in high-tech, deep-tech innovation? Well, money is, of course, always something important. In Canton Vaud, you have two fundamental tools, one from the economic promotion that can give out up to 100,000 Swiss franc grant to companies, and the FIT, Foundation for Innovation and Technology, gives out grants and loans up to 500,000 Swiss francs. It's been used successfully by a lot of the high-tech startups in Switzerland and in Vaud in the past years. So last year was a record year with almost 6 million Swiss francs loaned or given to projects in Vaud and around. 28 startups or projects were concerned. There's coaching, 80 specialists that can intervene free of charge from InnoSwiss, from Platine. There is also some accelerators. You may know some of them. They are not all here, but it's really a growing activity. Mass Challenge is running for its third edition in Renan here. So it's a startup accelerator that was born in Boston and that has many locations now. And of course, at EPFL, you have, for example, the EdTech Collider that is dedicated to education startups in innovation in education. We do a lot of also communication and networking, like supporting an event like tonight. Something that might interest you, we are launching tomorrow, so this is a little bit an advance notice, a portal called Vaud.digital that shows all the digital startups, SMEs, but also research institute in Canton Vaud. Currently 300 entities are there. I zoomed on the left on the academia category, so you see we have lots of companies in the digital domain, and I encourage you to go to visit Vaud.digital from tomorrow, especially on desktop and tablet, because on mobile phone it's a kind of limited display. And just to finish, some examples some of you may have seen at the Applied Machine Learning Days back in January. So there were demonstrations from those 5 companies. Gamaya will present later tonight. And I have a couple additional ones to mention tonight. There is a Pictera, for example, that does image analysis based on machine learning, but for example, agri-tech, but also other applications. There is Avalia that analyzes everything in the software development process. So source code repositories, bug tracking, and also CRM, customer calls, ERP data, and tries to find patterns out of that to improve the development process in a big company. So quite successful so far. And third example, additional ones, is Finity, which is the merging of Paperly, that some of you may know, and Charollais. And what they do is really a live media intelligence to see emerging trends, for example, during events, during the WEF, because they are partners and providers for WEF and also for KPMG. And they analyze 500 million social posts every day to identify trends and brand appearances. And finally, the last I mentioned tonight is Deeption, also an EPFL startup based also on understanding of signals in social media and trying to make predictions out of that. So it didn't work very well with the American election back then, but hopefully they can do a bit better now. So that's all for my part. I want to thank a lot Pawel for inviting me, and also to thank him for organizing these types of events. It's very important. And I'll be available later tonight if you have questions, or even right now. I've heard there might be questions. Or
Yes.
Okay. So if you
would like to ask questions.
Okay, I'll be here after that. Otherwise, thank you very much.